Hello and welcome to another video. If you saw the title, you know that today we are turning my keyboard into a fantasy creature. I got the idea for this video actually a long time ago, but I just decided to do it recently just because I was like, I don't know what to draw for this week, and so I came up with that. I've been sitting in my back pocket, and I can make at least 3 videos of this because I have 3 keyboards. Which that sounds like a lot. It is a lot of keyboards. Obviously, nobody needs more than 1 keyboard, really, but I got into mechanical keyboards specifically as a hobby a couple of years ago. I wouldn't say that I regret it, but I do think that I wasted a lot of money just trying to figure things out. If you are interested in getting into mechanical keyboards, I would say do a lot of research before you decide to purchase anything. I've actually bought 4 mechanical keyboards over the years. I ended up giving one to my sister. And yeah, actually the very first keyboard I bought was this cool typewriter type keyboard that I liked, and that kind of got me into like the whole mechanical keyboard subculture type thing, and my life's been downhill ever since. But yeah, but mechanical keyboards is one of my other hobbies other than art. The art is like my main focus, but mechanical keyboards is my other thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the keyboard that we're gonna go with today. So this is the keyboard I'm gonna be turning into a character today. It's a cool killer. It's the green one. I can't remember what it's called exactly right now. I got this one for my birthday from my sisters, and honestly, I did not do enough research before I got this one. I thought I did a lot of research on it, but it turns out I didn't do enough research on it because it doesn't open. So if you guys know anything about mechanical keyboards, you know that people might like to mod them, like take them apart, put customize stuff into them, and I like to do that sort of thing. And so I bought this one because I like the color and I like the clearness of it. Like it's see-through. You guys can kind of see it down here a little bit and up here a little bit, but it doesn't open. There's no screws to open it. The other keyboards that I have, they open just fine. They slide open, and I don't have to use like a screwdriver to get them open, but this one does not open at all, which if I had known that, I would not have bought it. Because since I can't open it, I really hate the sound. Like, listen to this. And that sounds better because it's on my sketchbook. Ew, I just don't like it. That's why we're starting with it today, because this is actually my least favorite sketchbook and my least favorite mechanical keyboard. Like I said, I do have 3, and out of my 3, I do have a favorite. And I thought about starting with my favorite, but then I was like, I want to have something to look forward to, so I'm starting with my least favorite. It's not that I don't like it, like I like the color and stuff. It's just that it's a real pain in the ass to modify. Like the small amount of modifications you can do, like switching out the switches, which is basically it's like a little mechanical thing inside the keyboard that you press and it pushes down the key, right? It's got like a little spring in it, and you can pull those out, and it like changes the feeling of the keys and also changes the sound. And so just doing that is such a pain in the ass to pull those out and put new ones in. And so after I modded it the second or third time, I was like, I'm done, I'm not touching it anymore, because it was pissing me off. So yeah, that's why it's my least favorite, which kind of sucks because I really liked it when I first got it. I thought it was so cute and stuff, but cuteness does not make up for having a shitty inside, you guys, okay? So just have to remember that. And everybody was always like, oh, don't get a transparent keyboard because you're gonna see all of like the dust inside and stuff. Obviously there's no dust inside mine because I barely use the thing, but so it's not really anything I have to worry about. I would use it more if I liked it, and I do have certain instances where I did like it. I bought these keycaps just because I like the profile of them. This is getting into like really heavy keyboard stuff, and this is actually an art video, so let me cut myself off, right? So basically these are not the keycaps it came with. They actually came with some pudding type keycaps, which means like they're like a color on the top, but on the bottom they're clear, so you can see the lights, because this does have lights. I'm not gonna show it for you guys right now, but yeah, basically. So this is like a cake set of, this was like birthday cake set of keycaps that I switched them out with. And so yeah, this is the keyboard. This is just some background on the keyboard. Now I'll go ahead and show you some of the notes I took about how I wanted to translate it into a character design. Okay, so this is some of the character design notes that I ended up coming with. Typically when I design a character, I don't actually write notes. I just keep these things in my mind, but I was like, a little tiny update on the sketchbook. I still don't like it, and so I was like, I'm just gonna write in it, and that'll help me fill up some space in here. So I was writing down notes I have about the keyboard. So it's cake, obviously, green, yellow, blue, pink are the colors. It doesn't open, and so when it came to designing her as a character from keyboard, like from object to person, I was trying to take some of the elements of the keyboard being physical and trying to switch them around in more of like a metaphorical sense. And so since it's a keyboard that doesn't open, I was like, maybe it doesn't open up to other people. Maybe she is resistant to change, right? Like you can create characters based off of objects by, you know, trying to like figure out things that translate from object to personality, if that makes sense. This is what I tried to do here. So since it doesn't open, it doesn't change, it wants what it wants, right? It doesn't want to be modified. And so I was like, that's a very stubborn type character, right? And then poor sound, annoying voice. I don't like the sound of the keyboard. That's just because the key, I like a deeper sound for the keyboard. It's kind of high pitched. It's clear, it's transparent. So I was like, honest. And also it says wish to meet you again, because on the side of the keyboard, that's like the saying for this keyboard, it had like a quote on it. And so I was like, tsundere, right? So like she's mean, she doesn't want to open up to you. She wants what she wants, but she does want to see you again. So I was like, tsundere, maybe. I was like, cutesy appearance, bad attitude. And this is where I came up with, I did this one and I was like, I'm not really liking that. And I was like, cutesy appearance, bad attitude. And I was trying to figure out a way to incorporate the colors. And I was like, it's not really anything for like colors, because the color of the keycaps, it's like I said, it's blue, yellow, pink, and green. And I was like, none of those really work as skin colors. So I was like, I guess I could make her skin green. And I was like, but that doesn't make any sense. And then I was like, if she was an orc, it would make sense. And I was like, boom, psh, orc, you guys. I was like, orc. Yes, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. And then I went through like middle range. Oh, because it was like the middle of my keyboards. Like it's actually for size. It's actually, I have like a full size keyboard, and then I have like a 60% keyboard, and this one is a 75. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not really gonna do anything for that. And then I got Baker, and so I had orc Baker, and I was like, yes, dude. Yes, this is gonna work for me. This is gonna work. And so after I did that one, I was like, ugh. And then I did this one, right? And so I was like, orc Baker. And I gave her this teeny tiny little chef's hat as a contrast, because she's going to be a big orc lady. And then I was like, oh, it's so funny. It's so stupid. I don't end up following that to the end, but that was so dumb and funny. But yeah. And so I was like, Baker, no alteration, no custom order. The customer is always wrong, right? So that's like her not being willing to change, her not willing to, you know, do other stuff. I was like, yes, this is working. Orc Baker. So then I did a little bit more explorations for her, right? As like an orc baker, her rolling up her sleeves. I did this one, and I was thinking, I was like, whisk, a giant whisk as a club, and I was like, that's inspired. So yeah, I just did these. It was a little bit more inspiration drawings, and then I wanted to give her a cutesy little outfit. Like I said, I wanted her to be tough, like tough appearance and like tough attitude, but like cutesy clothes type thing, right? So that's what I came up with. Her not liking the cake that she came out with, her arguing with the customer, no custom orders. She's not, I make the cakes and you buy them, okay? Don't ask me to do shit. I've already made the cakes. If you want the cake, buy the cake. If you don't want the cake, fuck off. That's like the idea, right? So yeah, and this is the finished piece that I have planned out for her, and we're just gonna go ahead and color it together. Yay! Alright, so getting into the coloring, I just wanted to say, I didn't actually plan on this character being an orc or a fantasy creature at first. As you can see from that very first drawing that I did, I really just planned to draw her as a cute girl. I plan to draw all my keyboards as cute girls. But while I was thinking about them, while I was laying in bed, just brainstorming ideas, one of my keyboards has like this Alice in Wonderland motif, and it's also like paired with tea time. And I was thinking of like teacups, and I was like, thinking of like teacup armor, and I was like, teacup armor, like a teacup knight. And then I was like, but then that doesn't really make sense for them being cute girls. Like, why would one be a knight and the rest of them would just be cute girls? And then I was like, well, I could just like shift the focus to be like more fantasy inspired. And then I was like, well, what if by the end of it they're like a D&D group? And so in the future I'm kind of planning on them to just be like a D&D like style party, and they go on adventures and stuff. Even though, like, obviously, I don't really plan on writing a story for them. These are just, like I said, just my keyboards made into, like, characters. But I just wanted to combine some of my other hobbies together with art. I really like to do character design. You guys already know that. And I really like my keyboards, and I don't really use them too much. I use them when I write, but I haven't been writing a lot lately. And so this is just me trying to get back a little bit of that motivation for writing. And I thought I could do that by inspiring myself to like my keyboards a little bit more. I mean, I like all of my keyboards, obviously, but I really didn't like this one. And actually drawing this character made me like her. I see even referring to them with like actual pronouns, so it actually makes me like my keyboard a little bit more. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about the coloring process here. As you guys already know, I kept myself to having pretty much only the 4 colors that were on the keyboard. So green, blue, pink, and yellow. It's just that I just needed to figure out where exactly I wanted to put them. I didn't plan out the colors before I did this. I always preach you guys should try the colors before you do it, but I was figuring that there's not really too many combinations I could do, and I was thinking that the skin is going to be green, the dress is going to be yellow, and then the accessories were going to be blue, like the bow and the apron, right? And her hair was going to be pink. So that was a general idea. I didn't test it out beforehand, but I did plan a little bit what I wanted to do with the colors. And so I do think that they came out okay. They came out pretty good, I think. I don't really have anything to complain about with the color choices. I feel like my coloring technique might be a little bit lackluster, but I'll let you guys be the judges of that. When I did the coloring, I'm still trying to perfect this technique that I've been trying lately, where I color in with the shadow and then I go over it, like the edge of it with a darker color, and then I go in and then make it lighter. Not make it lighter, but shade it. No, not shade it. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling so much today, guys. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to moderate my speech a little bit because I've noticed I've been saying like a lot in videos, and I think that's super annoying. No offense if you say like a lot. I understand because I do it too. I'm trying to break that habit, but just whenever I hear myself do it, I'm I'm stopping myself from doing it there. So I'm trying to stop that, and so it's getting into my mind a little bit. Anyway, that coloring technique I've been trying for the last 3 videos, or last 2 coloring videos that I've been doing. I'm still trying to do that. So I did it with the skin, and I think I came out okay on the skin. I think it actually came out pretty okay on the dress also. I did something a little bit different with the dress. I knew I said I was going to be using yellow, but when I was looking at the keycaps, I noticed that they weren't a true yellow. They were more of a cream color, a type of yellow, which I guess cream could also be classified as a brown, but I feel that it's not really. I feel like brown is like a spectrum of all other sorts of colors too, and not just one color. Like brown is not just one color in my opinion, but I don't know. Anyway, so I went more with a cream color, and I feel that that was actually the better choice. I think it goes better with the rest of the piece, and I just feel it's more cohesive that way. I don't know. I just feel like the cream is better. Anyway, so I colored in the whole shirt cream, and I also forgot to mention that when I was doing the skin, when I decided to make that like rim lighting type color that goes on the outside of the shadow, I made it that one blue. I decided to do that on the fly just because I don't know if I 100% like it, and I feel like it maybe kind of gets lost in the rest of the coloring, but I decided to do it all throughout the piece. So I also did it with the dress with the cream color, but instead of using blue, I thought about using blue. I really heavily thought about using blue, but the whole thing about blue and yellow, even though this is a cream, I would still argue it's kind of a yellow, is that they are complementary colors. So if I was going to put the blue on top of the yellow slash cream, it would have become muddy, and I was very hesitant to make the colors muddy. I really don't like it when they look like that. I really like bright saturated pieces. I tried to do that, so I didn't want to use blue. And so I thought about it, and I knew I was going to be using pink in the illustration anyway. And when I usually do blonde hair, this cream is usually what I do when I color blonde hair, just because I like blonde hair that is not yellow. You guys know that. I like more of like a soft blonde. And so when I shade in this for blonde, I tend to put a little bit of pink in it. I think I saw a long time ago that when you're making blonde, you put pink in it. Just, I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it was like a wig making video that I was watching, and she put like a bunch of colors in there, and one of them was pink, and it made like this like very pretty platinum blonde type color. And so I was like, I'll use it with art too. So I used that pink for like the rim lighting type shadow thing for the dress, and I really like the way that the dress came out. I think the dress is just actually the best part of this drawing, which is funny because I never really draw dresses. Not because I am opposed to dresses or anything. I'm not for drawing them or anything. I don't really draw anybody in a dress though. I don't know. Maybe I should start drawing dresses more. I just don't really think about it. I don't really wear dresses. Nobody around me really wears dresses. my sibling, my sister, she sometimes wears dresses, but not super often. So it doesn't really come up for me in day to day life. Most of the people are just wearing pants, and I only think about pants and shorts and stuff. So maybe I have to start consciously thinking about dresses more. But also, I don't really draw girls as much as I used to. I mostly draw dudes now, which doesn't mean I couldn't draw dudes in a dress. But I don't think any of the guys who I have as OCs currently would be the type to. Well, that's not true. I drew one of them in a skirt one time, but that was for cosplay. But I guess I could cosplay dresses. I don't know. I'm not really attracted to dresses in the sense for like aesthetic reasons. I mean, there are some dresses I think that are cute, but nothing that I'm really like inspired to draw. I even went, I found a couple of dresses for reference for this, and I was just like, I need it just to be a dress for the drawing. None of them really struck me out as something that I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. I have to draw that. I don't know. That's okay though. I feel like everybody has their own, what's it called, tastes. They all have their own tastes for aesthetics and looks and fashion. My fashion taste has always just been more drawn towards like really baggy pants and stuff. I don't know. I guess that's enough about the dress for now. We can get on to the coloring for the bow and the apron. The bow and the apron were a pain in the ass to color because my marker was super dry. I kept putting ink in it. It was still super dry. And half of it I blame on this fucking paper. You guys already know I don't like this paper. It's really just soaking up my markers, and it soaked up all of them, and I don't like it. But I'm moving through it. We're moving through it this week. Hopefully it'll be done by the end of the month. I'm pretty sure it'll be done by the end of the month because I've already drawn I drew like 4 pages in one day, just because the way that I draw in my sketchbook, the way that I have it set up now, is I don't even draw very big anymore. I used to draw like very big. I used to take up the whole 8.5 by 11.5 page just for one drawing and like color the whole thing in. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. I draw a lot smaller than I used to. But still, when I'm drawing in this, because it's pretty small. It's like 9 by 11 or something. It's pretty. No, it's not 9 by 11. It's smaller than that. It's like 7 by 9 or something. It's a very small. And so my drawings are too big in it now. So I draw like 3 to 4 things on the paper and it's done. And I'm like, I feel like this is wasting paper. But yeah, anyway, this just really sucked for the blue of this apron. And no matter how many times I filled up the marker, I just felt like it was not getting full. And every time I was coloring with it, it was just super dry, and it was very frustrating for me. And you're gonna see the culmination of that frustratedness in a second. When I get to the bottom half of the apron, the top half of the apron, I was able to color in and shade it. Okay, I got the shading done, and I was like, good. When it got to the bottom half of the apron, I was like, this marker is gonna piss me off. I cannot get it to work. And so I did something that is a little bit desperate, and I would not recommend doing this. And you're gonna see it in a second. Just hold on. Trust me, it's one of the most unhinged things I've ever done with my marker stuff. I saw somebody else doing this on Instagram, and I was like, what the fuck? You can do that? Why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. And then I was thinking about it when I was doing this, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. So you're gonna see that in a second. I'm just getting so frustrated that I couldn't handle it anymore. Honestly, I should have taken a break, just sat down for a minute and just filled up the marker and got it over with. But I was just sick of it. And so you see me doing it now. I'm going in with the alcohol marker ink from the bottle, and I'm just pouring it onto the page. Listen, I do not recommend doing this. Don't do this. It's a waste of ink, in my opinion, because I feel like if I would have put that in the marker, I could have used half of the ink to fill up that space. Maybe that's not true, but yeah, I'm just going ham with the ink here. And like I said, I don't recommend doing this. Don't do it. For one, this paper bleeds, and so it was spreading really fast. And also, since the paper for this sketchbook is thick, but I'm putting a lot of ink down using this method, and so it's really soaking all the way, like it's going actually through the paper. And so, since you're putting a lot of ink on all at once, it doesn't have a chance to spread through the paper and like keep it dry. Like it's soaking through the paper too quickly, and then it's spreading out. And so it's going to the back of paper, and it's getting onto that little sheet you see me having in the back. And so that sheet is not all the way clean. So there's a little section that had some ink on it from a previous drawing, and it got onto the back of the paper and started bleeding through to the front. And I was like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. But it's actually not that bad. You can't even see it in this, I don't think. But I was so sick of coloring that in that I was willing to do that. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. I saw an artist on Instagram do that, and I was like, don't do that. You're wasting the ink. You're wasting the ink. I didn't say that to them, obviously. I was just thinking this to myself. I don't really comment. I don't want to comment negatively on other people's pages. And I wouldn't want them to tell them what to do with their art process. And then here I am copying them and being like, you shouldn't do it, even though I did it like a fucking hypocrite. But yeah. But it did cover the stuff pretty fast. So I was just sick of doing it. So I got it out of the way, which makes me feel very happy. And then I just went on and colored the hair in pink here. I only used 2 colors at first for the pink hair. And when I was staring at it, I was feeling that it was too flat. So I made another split-second decision. You guys know how I feel about split-second decisions. I would say don't do them. But I'm a hypocrite, so I do them all the time. I feel like we're learning together about me. I am a hypocrite. I say one thing, and I tell you to do with something else. Like I'm like your parents or something. Maybe that hits too close for you guys. Sorry. Anyway, so I put the lightest pink down first, and then I went in with the darker pink, and I was looking at it. It was too flat, and so I was thinking, well, in other parts of the drawing, I've been using different colors to get a little bit of a different shading in there for like a little bit more of a dynamic shading. So I was thinking that I should do that with the hair, and I was struggling to think of which color I should use, and I was like, a purple would really go good here. But then I was thinking, I haven't used purple at all in this drawing. And I didn't want to get up and get another marker, and also I wanted to keep the color scheme cohesive, so I went in with blue. And as I was doing it, I was thinking, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. This is coming out bad. But then as I finished it, I was like, no, this was okay. It's not the best in the world, but it's not the worst either. I think it came out pretty good. So sometimes taking risks helps a little bit, you guys. I feel like it gives the hair a little bit more dimension, but like just a little bit more. It's nothing crazy, but just a little bit more. I think it helped to stand out a little bit more. And plus the blue over the pink made it a little bit purple, which is what I wanted to do anyway in the first place. So that's good. Sorry that the camera has been shaking so much in this video. I think that it's genuinely because of the paper of the sketchbook. It is so rough on my markers. It's really just kicking my marker's ass. Genuinely. It's like, because it's so, the texture, I guess, of it maybe, and since it makes my markers act like they're so dry, it's like gripping, it's like grabbing at the marker kind of, if that makes sense. And it's making my hand a little bit more jerky. And also I feel like I was trying to get this done just because I am recording this on, what's today? Today's Saturday. I'm recording this on Saturday, and Saturday is usually the last day that I record things just because I go to work on Sundays, and so I don't really have all day to film videos, and this is the only video I filmed this week so far. I obviously am going to make more videos by the time the days will come, but I don't know. I didn't really, like I said, I haven't really had any ideas for videos this week, so I was a little bit frantic while I was coloring this. Anyway, here we are coloring in the whisk. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever drawn a whisk in my life. And I think for our first attempt, it's pretty okay. I feel like I made it look like metal. I don't know if they would have metal whisks back in the day. Did they have metal whisks before? When did they make whisks? They didn't have wooden whisks, did they? Would a wooden whisk work? Wooden whisk work? Try saying that 5 times fast. I don't know, but I just made hers metal. I think they have metalwork. They definitely have metalwork in D&D type fantasy. Obviously, that's what dwarves do, right? They make jewelry and shit. Why couldn't they make a whisk? I don't know if they'd be widely available. I don't know if they would be this big. But like I said, this whisk acts sort of like a club. Even though if you've ever held a whisk, you know that there's actually a lot of give to a whisk. I mean, if someone hits you with a whisk, it would hurt, but it would sting more than it would be like really hard, like a bat. It would be more like a sting. But it was still hurt pretty fucking bad, so I wouldn't want to get hit by a whisk, especially not one that big, goddamn. But yeah, the camera's shaking again. But yeah, I think it looks very nice and shiny. And then I kind of forgot about her socks for a second. I was like, what color should I make her socks? And I was thinking there was not enough pink in this illustration. It's just in her hair. I feel like there's a lot more pink on the keycaps than there is in this illustration. So I was like, add pink to the socks. Something else has to be pink. No, I was gonna say I thought for a moment making the hat pink, but that's not true. I'd never thought about making the hat pink. I thought making the hat blue, but then I was like, I think that's maybe too much blue. So the socks needed to be pink. Now that I'm looking at this though, I think that the bow around her neck should have been pink also. I mean, it goes well with the blue of her apron, but I feel like it would have been better pink. I don't know.
something to do if I ever end up drawing her again. And now I'm just adding in the white highlights, and I had to go back in and add her eyelashes so I could do the under eye highlights. I haven't been doing the under eye highlights in forever. I don't know why I haven't been doing them. Oh, also I forgot to mention that I made her eyes black. I know orcs don't really, I don't think they have, do they have black inner eye? I think they do actually. I'm thinking about Dimension 20, and I think that they do have the black inner eye. But anyway, I wanted her to have black inner eyes, and then I just made her eyes blue just to keep it for simplicity's sake. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Thank you for spending this time with me. Bye bye.